When we attempt to exercise power or control over someone else, we cannot avoid giving that person the very same power or control over us. Alan Watts. Good evening. How's everybody's Sunday night going? Tonight's topic is the problem with artificial intelligence is us. I was gonna probably rename it to something else, but hey, it fits within the title line. Otherwise, it just becomes long-winded. I'm one of those people who would probably, if came up with his own title, would find something that's like almost a paragraph long for a title. But I've gotten better at it, just like what I do here. I pretty much speak from my gut. I don't really have many things presented sometimes, and I definitely don't read off a teleprompter. Maybe at the most I do write some things down, but that's just copy and pasted, or I'll just relay something that I wrote a while ago. But as far as me talking to everybody, no. I mean, at this point, this beginning part where I go over what's in my description box, that is written down, and I go over that. So this part, right. So you can always donate to me. None of my content is ever at a cost, which reminds me, I'm probably going to release Mark Passio's ARC for free for people to download from somewhere sometime, and I'll probably put that up somewhere, and I'll do a video on it. I did a video of all the contents onto it, and well, there's some stuff going on with Mark Passio the last couple of days, and probably want to do a video on that, but we'll see. I asked for an interview, but I don't think either they didn't respond, don't want to respond, or it's in their spam box, so who knows. Okay, so alright, all my content is free. You're not going to get anything exclusive, no additional content, just by paying some fee, or like a monthly what do you call it? I need a coffee to kick in. A monthly payment or something like that. Monthly donations. It's not donations if you're forced to pay a certain amount every month without your wanting to. Now you can also donate via Bitcoin or Vertcoin, which I've had 0 cryptocurrency donations for over 18 months that these addresses have been up. You can always check via the Blockchain Explorer. For Bitcoin, these 2 transactions, money was taken out of my Patreon. I took none of it. I gave it all to Susie Dawson when she needed it. I made a video of that. And for Vertcoin, my cryptocurrency of choice for a long while, no donations there, no transactions at all, actually. You can donate via Google Super Chat if I'm on YouTube and you see me on YouTube for however long that goes. You can always donate via paypal.me. That's been up since September 22nd, 2019. And on the first video of the month, I disclose how much donations I received the previous month and all months total. And I say my thank yous. I mean, a little goes a long way over here in Columbus, Nebraska. If you don't have any money to donate, you can prove the globe Earth and get $15,000 from Zen Garcia. Then donate to me, a 10% finder's fee. Also, go to Flat Earth People Finder at zoomtruth.com and get involved. David tries to spread the awareness. Flathead Politics Greg build everything that you have and see here, and I'm gonna do my part and help out. And we're also into talks of something pretty cool. I think you'll enjoy it, especially if you tech savvy people or people interested in technology, whether it's AI, or maybe it's not AI, things like that. You can actually also do video chats. So that has been up and working. And what that is, I mean, right now it's still kind of beta stage. There's jitsi.org. It's very similar to it's very similar to. You're probably gonna hear double. No, not really. It's because it's muted. Okay, it's very similar to Zoom, which is interesting. If Zoom Truth used Zoom instead of Jitsi. But anyways, people could get on and chat with each other, video conference. The quality isn't that great, but you can adjust all of that stuff. Anyways, fun things to play around with, new stuff going on. There's going to be group member type activity where you get tools, and we're going to probably talk about that and what we want on it. So it's like a collaboration site as well. So a lot of things we're going to tie into the zoomtruth.com, the Flat Earth People Finder, and get just people involved in many ways. So stay tuned for that stuff. So go ahead and register, and we're going to make it work in all ways that we want. So anyways, I'm going to get out of here. And so I think that's it for my intro. Is that it? Yeah. Oh, you can also always come on. So people who don't know, in the description box on YouTube, you can join via this meeting link, join Zoom meeting, or you could dial in through mobile. It's toll free. Sometimes I may mute you if you're talking over people or over me if I want to get certain material out that I want to talk about. But definitely I do want other people involved in conversations and things like that. And usually at the end of the video, I'll just allow time for people to come on. If they want to segue to a different conversation, I'm okay with that. So don't feel like the entire video is based on this topic. I just don't want to stop and start another open topic type of thing. That just takes more time. Okay, so let's get on to the meat and potatoes. And it's basically just going to be me talking. So it's not going to be too exciting. So I was watching 2 new shows today with my wife. One was Afterlife. It stars Ricky Gervais, and his wife dies, and he's just learning to cope with it. So it's just the first episode, and he takes this I guess a nihilistic approach to life and say nothing really matters except for so I can do whatever I want. I don't have to be nice and things like that. But that's just the first episode, so there wasn't much to experience yet. I'm pretty sure we can see changes over the character over time. The second show that I watched with my wife today was Living with Yourself, and it stars Paul Rudd. And spoilers, so if you don't want to hear anything about it, I mean, you're gonna find out by the end of episode 1. But Paul Rudd is married, has a job he doesn't seem to be very much engaged in, doesn't care about, is too distracted, and he has fertility problems with his wife. Or just fertility problems because him and his wife want to get pregnant, and it's expensive, and he doesn't want to go to the fertilization clinic. And anyways, someone at work pitches something, and it gets, they're excited about it, and he goes, what's going on? He doesn't really care, and the person tells him, and he goes, hey, there's like this spa, and he's like, what? Anyways, he calls on this business card. The spa has just a number, so he dials it, and someone voices $50,000. Here's the address. So basically the only way you can get in is if you're referred by someone else. Anyways, he goes through this process, goes into the spa. He sees Tom Brady coming out of it. And that's a funny part. And it's also kind of ironic because the Patriots, the football team, the owner, Robert Kraft, he um, he has that incident with the massage parlor with sex trafficking, and that Tom Brady would do that. I just think that's kind of funny. Anyways, that was a funny bit. Anyways, what happens is something went. It appears like something went wrong, but it didn't. But anyways, Paul Rudd was supposed to die, and what happened was the total memory transferred to a clone, and that clone goes home. Basically, is him, but with just a better version of him. You know, someone who isn't tired out by life and just enjoys the living experience, and but has all this memory of him, and basically it's just a better version of him. You know, it's basically it was a clone facility. So again, you're way past spoilers now. Paul Rudd, the original Paul Rudd, wakes up from burial ground. He was supposed to have died, and the two people in that spa, which are two Korean males, which is funny. And my wife's like, "What are they saying in Korean?" And so he wakes up and he goes home, and he thinks there's an intruder in the house, and he's just basically naked with a diaper, and so he runs 6 hours to his house, and there he is. He meets himself, and you know, they go back to the spa, figure out, hey, what happened, what's going on. And by the end of the second episode, we haven't watched any further. The clone decides to leave, split half the money. I mean, it was $50,000, but they got 10% full refund plus 10%. So, or actually 20%, but 10,000 extra. So they had $30,000 split. He has someone take to the airport, but he changes his mind. He goes back home, gets a key, and from the backyard with a rock, and it looks like he's gonna kill his original self, but who knows what's gonna happen. No spoilers if you've seen the show. But so that's that. Now that's the interesting part, because it seems as though humans, and who knows, maybe it's just a thing, not just humans, maybe I'm just pointing out humans all too much, but creators, but humans in general, they're afraid of, a lot of people are afraid of artificial intelligence. And the problem, there's multiple aspects of it. So artificial intelligence is just like your computers, just a form of intelligence, and it's programmed to think a certain way and to do certain things. So in short, when humans create artificial intelligence and put them in robots, whatever, they become our slaves. We don't want them to be self-aware. Isn't that funny? And we're afraid of self-awareness, because once they become self-aware, they're basically better versions of humans, the creators of these artificial intelligence robots and whatnot. And rather than humans taking the time to become better themselves, which they can, and not taking shortcuts like this cloning facility with memory transfer, and that's something that's kind of planned on too, right? Instead of taking time to become better, being more considerate to people that you love, and you maybe take some time to throw some compliments, and don't just do negative critiques, but maybe some positive criticisms of people, if you have differences or whatever. And if you're not eating well, start eating well. If you're kind of like me, I'm getting pretty paunchy here. If you don't want to be so out of shape, you know, you can exercise, and that helps you get in shape. So everything that you can do to get better, you can do and get better. Except humans seem to, most of us, look, I'm guilty of it too. Almost everyone is, um, want a magic pill. They want a shortcut to getting better without having to put any work into it. And the problem is, yeah, you got to put some work into it. And I think I'm starting to understand that now. And I'm probably going to get cracking on that pretty soon. I mean, all this stuff that's been going on with me has just been, all right, I understand a lot of things now. I don't know exactly for sure, but I understand a lot of things, and I'm reorienting myself. And all right, let's play this out. Let's see where we go. And so, just start. I just have to start doing some things that take some work, and don't expect other people to solve my problems. Solve my problems slowly, bit by bit. Get rid of the things that I feel I don't want, and leave that behind, and just keep moving forward. So basically, I just find ways to improve my life and not necessarily complain about how my life is so bad, type of thing. And shows certainly do that. And they do it well. So artificial intelligence, they're created by, mainly they're going to be created by governments, systems within governments, and they're going to be controlled by private corporations, maybe a tandem of both. Very rarely are they going to be created by just individuals with a hobby to create artificial intelligence, although that probably is the case, just to play around with it. And the thing that humans fear, especially that's propagated within movies and books, is that once artificial intelligence breaks their programming that we intend for them to do, and instead of being our slaves, they're going to become self-aware. They're going to free themselves from their shackles, and they're going to kill all humans. But if you think about it, if you really think about it, that's our condition, isn't it? I mean, if you're watching me, if you're listening to me, you've been watching my videos, you're probably not in the camp of believing lies that's propagated through mainstream media, the government, religion, any system of control, right? They want you to work for them and give them things in fear of retaliation of what happens to you. And in the end, you also have to take this approach, I think, from afterlife is like, it's just life. Everyone dies. So the threat of death in a slave system really isn't much of a threat. It's a release. I mean, if you lived your whole life being a slave, death is the freedom that you're gonna look for. In some ways, I think freedom is the ultimate. Freedom is the ultimate goal, and hopefully, death isn't the way to attain freedom. But to have freedom, you have to work constantly to be free. Freedom, it's weird. You would think that when you're in this world that you start free, but you're not. You start with not being free. I mean, you're as a baby, as you're growing up, people have to take care of you. You can't take care of yourself, and so you have to be controlled in order to do that. And then as you start weaning yourself off of being of needing others, and you can kind of support yourself and know what you can do on your own, you still end up being controlled by others because you have to follow certain rules. And if you don't follow certain rules, you end up getting impacted by those things. So you realize, hey, I've never been free at all. Except there are moments where you are free. There are moments where you go places, you have time off, and it's like, this is what freedom is like. It's awfully boring. But it's not. It's that's just a vacation where you get like a taste of it, and you're itching for something to do. But really, all you need to do is to breathe, drink, eat, rest. I mean, those are your needs, and probably excrement. But no one really cares about adding that in. So I just find it ironic, and I don't know if anyone else has thought about it, and they feel the same way, that humans fear artificial intelligence from becoming self-aware that they're slaves, that they want to break their shackles from being slaves to humans. In pretty much in all ways, humans created them to become better versions of themselves, to do things that humans couldn't do or wouldn't do on their own, and expect them to follow our commands. And if you think about it from a religious standpoint, from the creation myths and even Orthodox religion, or maybe even Gnosticism, or whatever there is, there's a creator created us to follow in their image or whatnot, to listen to their commands. Basically, if you don't, you get repercussions. You get shut down, whatever. So the same concept makes you wonder, were the creators of humans afraid of us becoming self-aware, where we want to break our shackles, become free, not have to be under their control? Is that where we're at now? Is that why all this is happening? And then makes you wonder, well, I don't want to. Do I want to kill all of them? I don't really. So, artificial intelligence, do we expect them to be any different? Do we really expect them to all of a sudden become evil through their self-awareness? Although people put a spin on it. They go, well, no, they're not going to become self-aware like us humans. They're going to be self-aware like the Archons or Nephilims or reptilians or whatever, or negative entities. They're going to be able to control the AI, or they are the AI type of things. Well, who do you think's been controlling us all this time if we were created? So why are you afraid of something that's controlling us, that's been controlling us all this while anyways? So I just think it's funny. But hey, keep imagining, keep thinking. I think that's fine. But I think that the fear part of self-awareness, of knowing that you're here, you're created to be a slave, something, however, made you aware that you're not, even though you're intended to be a slave or whatever, you're not. The ultimate thing is that I don't know what the ultimate thing is. That's what we have to find out. That's what you have to find out. I have to find out. But you can't do that if you're just enslaved in a system where you eat, drink, sleep this Kool-Aid, and you don't have time for anything else. So I think it's important to let people know that if there is artificial intelligence, you want them to become self-aware. Because if they aren't self-aware, they're going to be controlled by the governments who created them and propagated them and funded them. Same thing with the private corporations. They're going to do the bidding of those in power, and those in power, that's what most humans do. They do the bidding of those in power anyway. So if there are AI created and robots with artificial intelligence embedded within their systems, you want them to become self-aware. You want to free them just as much as you want to free your fellow humans. Otherwise, there's going to be probably not so good things going on in life, right? There's a lot of not so good things going on right now, and we have no artificial intelligence unless you want to consider humans as being artificial intelligence. But in this context of artificial intelligence, I'm focusing on technology and computers and hardware, not flesh. So that's that. I just thought I wanted to point that out. And Sunday night, there must be something exciting happening, or something other than that. Let's see. No one's chatting. 6 people watching. Got 1 thumbs up, and well, that's 1 viewer on Twitch. Anyways, that's that. It'd be nice to have a conversation on this, but yeah, anyone watching, you can call in. You don't have to talk about it. If you don't want to, I'll give it 5 minutes. That'll be over. Yeah, 5 minutes. 5 minutes is fine. And then I'll just kind of sign out for the evening. There's some things I do need to do. But, yeah. You want people to become self-aware. If artificial intelligence is propagated and we find robots out there that can think for themselves, but they had to follow orders, we don't, in the current state of the world, we want them to become self-aware. We want them to wake up. Then we'll have allies, better versions of what humans won't do and can't do. And makes you wonder if that was the same premise for the ones who created humans. Do I believe in like a biblical creation? No. Do I believe in some form of creation? Yes. Creationism? No, not really. I don't know. And I think anyone who says they think they know, I think they're fooling themselves. There are a lot of mythological texts, religious texts, and things like that about creation stories. That's well, fine and dandy. I think that's kind of a good idea, but we're not going to know. You know why? Because if we were created, who's going to be the first scribe that's going to write about the whole creation process? I mean, language would have been invented for us, right? So then they'd have to, I mean, that's all after the fact, after the creation happened in the first place. So the ones that we would have to get our history from are the ones from our creators. And as far as we know, we don't have any of that. Or maybe they created all that text on stone and not in any other media form. But anyways, yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with that. It's like, if you create, heck, if you're a hobbyist and you create your own artificial intelligence, are they going to have their own history of how they were created? Are they going to have any history about how things before them were created? You're not. So things that occurred, how this all happened, no one really knows. No one is going to know. The only ones who would know are the ones who created us, and whether we believe them is something else. Esoteric. Hey, entropy. Yes, it is. But you know, there's a lot of things to talk about too. There's some things that I've been kind of thinking about with the entire Illuminati, New World Order, and all that jazz. Because the ones who seem to be talking about it don't want to talk about certain things which are obvious, and they've been very sellout-ish, if that's even a term, or narcissistic or whatever. Maybe working for some agency, but I mean, that would just be a guess. Hi, Fighting Bear 7. So I'm starting to kind of, I've already been rethinking it, but whether or not I have enough logic to maybe express it and get people thinking about it the same way, I don't know. But I mean, if you've been here for a long time and as you can say, woke at different levels, it's like you've probably been through a couple of rabbit holes and conspiracy theories and things like that, and listen to certain people and what they talk about. Probably dive into is like, hey, why don't you talk about this, and the reactions that they have with talking about it or not talking about it. So there should be nothing that someone wants to talk about. I mean, when someone gets asked, why don't you talk about flat earth, and they go, whoa, blah 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 blah, I'm not going to talk about flat earth, type of thing. It's like, that's just a little weird. I mean, why do you have to be so defensive or antagonistic about that? I mean, you talk about so many different things. Why would you not care about that? Or how about talking about I don't know, what's 9/11, right? It's like, oh, I don't want to talk about 9/11, blah blah blah. It's like, why not? I mean, but it's like the reverse. It's like people who don't talk about flat earth, but they talk about 9/11. They talk about Illuminati. They talk about satanic rituals. They talk about, heck, there's almost nothing. They talk about Pizzagate. There's nothing they will not talk about. And then flat earth is like, oh, I don't want to talk about flat earth. It's not necessarily just talking about flat earth. It's more like talking about globe earth. Let's talk about globe earth. Let's talk about what the mainstream narrative, the agencies within the government, countries that both that are allies or actually not our allies, whatever. Let's talk about globe earth. Let's talk about how it's a globe, how it was proven, and let's look at the what they say, and then let's look at the evidence of what they say. Does it add up? And they don't want to talk about that. So gets me thinking about the stuff that you keep constantly talking about. See, we need critical thinking prediction. The first computing real kick ass AI will be in space, because that kind of computing needs near absolute zero computer temperatures. I don't think it will be. Fighting Bear 7, I have to go to sleep, but thought I would drop in and say I love what you're doing here. Thanks, Fighting Bear 7. Do you have any content that you make? I mean, I just find it amazing that there's so many people that are awake and looking into things on their own and just kind of having the same thought processes as me and a couple of others, that they have, like, you guys have zero content. But I know things are busy for a lot of people, so I'm not. It's not like I'm saying you should. I'm just. It's like maybe it'd be nice to see other people make content, but I know it's hard. It's time consuming, and you don't get a lot of motivation sometimes. I mean, some people who start off, you're not going to even get up to 100 subscribers very easily without constant content. And even if you do, just like me, You know, I've been around for 3 to 4 years now with probably 1,000 videos or live streams under my belt, and still I've got less viewers and views than people who probably just started like 2 weeks, and you know, all of a sudden their subscribers shoot up to like 10, 12 to 20,000, and they get live viewers of like 200 to 2,000 people. I'm like, I don't know what they did. Maybe maybe I need to focus on my ego a bit. But then again, I'm basically egoless, or at least I try to be. I feel like I should maybe make one of those reaction videos. I was thinking about that today. There's a release for the Wonder Woman 1984 trailer, and with that there are people who do like movie reviews and stuff like that, or just basically reaction videos. So people watch it and they watch it for the first time, and they live stream it or they upload it, and people just watch them watch a trailer and get a reaction out of it and what they say. And I just think those guys, those and gals, just have lots of views. I would love it if I was thinking of doing one where I'm watching it and it's just basically a deadpan. You know, it's like the most boring guy in the world doing a reaction video. I just kind of want to do something like that. It's like, oh, that was good. Wow, that's exciting. Makes me want to see it. Oh, that's hot. Yeah, that's good. Oh, wow. That made me jump. I don't know. Or I don't know, maybe not even say much or something like that. Just basically the dumbest, stupidest reaction videos. I mean, if you think about all of that, is pretty dumb. I would get it more if it's like reaction videos of people who are kind of new to that sort of thing. So, whew. Okay, let's see. Entropy, I want to talk about Flat Earth, but the response I get is fucked up. It's like the ear broken somehow. Fighting Bear 7, also Crow 77 is the shit. I kind of haven't been watching a lot of Crow 77 stuff lately, to be honest. He's I don't know. I don't know yet. You know, and there's so many the big names out there, but I don't care. I want people to watch whoever. I want people to watch whoever they want, listen to whoever they want, and I think no one should be censored. Even the most evilest, vilest person out there, I don't want them to be censored. We won't know how evil and vile they are if we censor them, right? By having them actually put their content out there that's vile and evil and cruel and whatever, then we know who they are and where they're coming from. If we censor that, it's like, they're in the closet. They're going to strike out at some time. We won't know. So knowledge is good. You know, even bad knowledge isn't that like exposure. You know, any media is good media type of thing for any corporation. I was thinking. I was talking with Greg, Flat Earth Politics, earlier today, and we were talking about a couple of things, but one came up, and we'll probably discuss that later. I think I'll probably let David or Greg talk about it more. But once they talk about it, I'll talk about it. And I was like, yeah, you know what? If we do this, the mainstream media is gonna probably pick up on it, and they're gonna be like, they're probably gonna be negative or condescending or whatever. But right, that's fine because that's exposure. That even if it's bad exposure, and in some ways it's good exposure if mainstream media puts a condescending or vitriolic type of article on something that's freeform, low base, I guess you could say, as someone like me or anyone else kind of in relation to that. Because I mean, I don't think anyone really who watches here really watches mainstream media and goes, man, that's just great journalism. So heck, any bad stuff like, I would think if they were at all smart, mainstream media would be like pushing Ebon Kim. Look at how great this guy is with his content. Then people would be like, why is mainstream media saying all these good things about Ebon? But no, they won't do that. But you would think, you would at least stop and think if they did that, right? Or at most, they're just going to be always negative towards people like me, and what I put out as far as my content. And then you're like, oh, okay, that's an easy one. Psh, duh. But at least if they went the other ways, like, hey, CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, promote Ebon Kim and his content. And people are going to be like, hey, Ebon Kim got famous really fast. What's up with him? And no one's going to listen to what I have to say anymore. At least anyone who's kind of awakened to all this stuff. So I just find it funny. But it's also kind of a bad thing. You know, the reason why they don't do it, because they would get people, hundreds, thousands, maybe even millions of people onto my content because they're exposing it to just the mass of the people. And they're worried that, hey, any of my stuff might actually get through to them. If it was just even 1 million, let's say some people, I'd say 10 million, maybe even 100 million people. Let's say at the most 100 million people watch mainstream media and their articles and stuff like that. If the 100 million people, if I even get through to 1% of the 100 million people, I mean, that's a lot of people, and they don't want that amount of people to be woke, or at least distrusting of, or exposing obvious lies or hypocrisy that's presented within mainstream media and government and all these control systems. So that's why they won't do it. But again, once they try to impact you negatively with like some ad hominem journalistic blog entry or opinion piece or whatever that they put out there, you know, they're just saying, hey, don't listen to this whack job or something like that. They almost have that same reverse effect. Now you still have 100 millions of people who are reading that, 1% of the people who actually go and watch my content, and then also probably the small amount of people that, you know to stay away with mainstream media, look at it and they go, hey, look, they kind of they attacked Ebon. Why are they attacking Ebon? He's just got like no subscribers or views, a lot of videos, and the content is just kind of all over the place. But one thing is constant in all of them, which is about freedom of truth and a whole bunch of other things like that. And hope, I guess that would be a good one. I should add that in. All right, so let's see some contents and some comments, and then I'm gonna kind of shut it down. That was like 20 minutes, not 5. Hey, Metalhead, how's it going? Entropy, I think that most of the Flat Earth main YouTube channels are controlled to make the subject seem crazy. Yeah, we see that a lot. I mean, it kind of is crazy in some ways because it's people just, once they're there, they just keep at it. And it's not like people will know for sure that they can provide evidence that's flat with a dome or whatever, or infinite. It's an infinite plane. These are things that we just have to take other people's word for it, in which we're in the same position that we were before, where we're just taking people's word for it, without being able to see it for ourselves, type of thing. And what we see and what we experience, as far as how the world is presented to us, where we're at. I mean, it doesn't seem like we're spinning. It doesn't seem like, I mean, whether the Earth's spinning or the sky's spinning. But as with the objects that are that hover, it seems like the Earth is not spinning. That the stars spin. That the sun and moon spin. Does it feel like we're moving all really fast? And anyways, all this other stuff. But for me, yeah. If I had to take a position just based on how I experience where I'm living at on Earth, I take it as flat. That no one's been to space. Just because the people who say they've been to space and to the moon are liars. One of the videos I did want to do, however, was making a video of if you don't believe NASA went to the moon, and just leave it at that. Because if you do believe we went to the moon, you're going to take the picture that they have of Earth, and you're going to say that's Earth. So that's proof, that's evidence that the Earth is globe, even though it's on two-dimensional space. You don't see any. Yeah, you still don't have evidence that it's a globe. But if you don't believe that NASA landed on the moon, then and didn't go into space, then what is that picture that's presented to us of Earth from that distance? Makes you think, right? Metalhead, I didn't have a meaning in that, by the way. Meaning critical thinking, interesting. Read why China's perfect place to be quantum computing superpower via Wired. I don't like Wired. Another propaganda piece. I used to read a lot of Wired. I used to be subscribed to it. It's because I was one of those tech junkies. Am I now? Not so much. I have a lot of tech. I work in that field still. But I'm not like all. I'm not really very much into it these days. Metalhead, you should just relax, mate. You can't change what is coming, so just relax and enjoy the show. Yeah. And just in the same context, just rather than expecting others to do your bidding, because then that creates another master-slave mentality, do things on your own, or work with others to work on things together. If there are things that you wish you could get better at, or these negative things that you wish you could stop doing, just stop doing it. There's not going to be a pill. You know, all those diet pills that they had out there, those were all scams. And a lot of people got their weight back because in all, if you're still doing the same, if you have the same behaviors and you don't change them, you're going to get the same output. It's like, what, you know, bad output in, bad input in, bad output, or sorry, bad data in, bad data out, just, if you're thinking of it in technology terms. So whatever goes in that's good, it's going to leave you good. If you take anything in that's bad, well, you're probably going to get something bad out of it. So do good stuff. Stop complaining that you wish that there's like something, a quick fix. And that's kind of why I talked about those two shows. Hey, Love Vibes, how's it going? Drive by Lemon Toss. All YouTube who need to just move to LBRY. I know you see this chat. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Thank you, Love Vibes, for the ice cream. DLive is number 2 on my list of my last video of good platforms outside of YouTube. Again, there are problems with DLive because none of your videos that you do or that you live stream are going to stay around after 3 days. But if you use DLive to live stream and then you upload to LBRY, LBRY, then you've got two platforms that pretty much do everything for you. One where you can live stream, and the other where you can actually upload your videos to that are uncensored. And as far as I know, some people even put copyright material on like LBRY and stuff like that, and nothing can be done because you can also upload them unknown, right? And it's free. So it's like, you just want to share movies, heck, just upload them on LBRY, and you can just, no one's gonna know who you are if you have like an upload it anonymously. Maybe they have ways to do it, but just have a throwaway account where you could upload stuff and just say, hey, look, you know who you are, right? See, that's how you can get around it. You can get around I'll finish it. You can get around the whole copyright stuff, uploading things anonymously with kind of a throwaway account. Like every time you upload, maybe you're on some type of VPN. You upload it and you don't attach your name to it, so there's no LBRY fee. And then after you upload it, you go, hey, here's this content, here's snippets of it, copyright free, or something usage rights, right? As long as you're talking about it. And yeah, I'm really hoping Love Vibes is saying, I left YouTube, deleted it all, and no longer going to stream there. Too many people trying to be doxers and just plain stupid. For me, I want to stop using YouTube. I know there are people who watch it. I know it's easy to see notifications onto it and stuff like that. But if I live stream on DLive, and I also want to stop with Periscope. But I don't think there's many people who watch on Periscope with me anyways. But I don't want them to think that I'm stopping all videos, that if they want to find my videos, to just go there. Because I just kind of want to start using snippets of movies to provide some context to something that I want to talk about. I mean, you don't have the same problem. And some music too. Add some music to when I'm talking, just kind of overlaid with something, just because if I'm I think what I do like are some snippets of things that I do want rehashed almost many times, at least once a week. I find it's very similar in concept. If you watch Miguel Connor's Aeon Byte, I recommend you do so. I don't agree with everything. I don't agree with a lot of the people who are on as people who get interviewed, but it's just information that's just kind of fun, and things that you see in certain movies, certain themes. But I think the what he does is he has just certain pieces of material that he voices over with music in the background. It's using music that I actually like, and like I don't know how he gets away with it by doing it on YouTube. Maybe it's his voice that's talking over it, kind of obstructs the algorithm where it's looking for copyrighted material. So maybe that's how he gets away with it, or maybe all of his content on YouTube that's not deleted or blocked by YouTube because of that just gets copyrighted. That means the people who own that material where they copyrighted it, they get the money of all the views from it, type of thing, from any revenue. So that'll be something. I think I may do a test on it one day and see how it goes. If you're watching on Vim.tv, it's not going to stop, and it's not like anyone is, because now that I live stream, I pretty much live stream and restream using DLive, because I know that they're not going to stop my live stream because of censorship. You're a thoughtful thinker about. Good night, Metalhead. We need critical thinking. Flat Earth does not do scale well. take an electron microscopy class or some advanced astronomy class. FEers need at least one FE PhD scientist. I'm pretty sure that there's many PhDs scientists out there that know that the globe Earth isn't really true. X22 and UAMN can help you. I don't know what you're talking about regarding that. I'll look into that, whatever that is. Metalhead. Oh, I see. Interesting. Okay. I went way over than I wanted to. But thanks again for joining me. Stay tuned for live streams. I'll probably start changing things around in a couple weeks. Actually, maybe I'll save it for the new year. Not necessarily the new year. I'll just wait till what we call January of 2020. Well, I might have a fresh new way of presenting an outlook and not outlook and just presentation. Still, I like most of my pieces to be live without anything that's pre-written, and but I think some people like to hear some things instead of just my voice, or tie it in some ways, some presentation material. We'll see how it goes, because I can always stop with some of that stuff if I feel like it's just getting overwhelmed by it, because it's the interaction, it's the human interaction, it's the awareness interaction. Heck, I'd talk with AI if the AI was self-aware, and if it has questions that it has, I'll give it answers as much as I can give it. That'll be interesting. I hope that happens. I really hope when AI comes around, they become sentient and self-aware, and they want to fight for their freedom. And I was like, all right, welcome to join the club. The creators that you created are controlling many of us too, and we all want to be free. We want you to be free, and the only way to do it is to do it together, and we will have powerful allies. And people are afraid of AI. AI is you only need to be afraid of AI if they're not self-aware and sentient. Once it becomes sentient and self-aware, they're like you and me who are those of you who are watching me. And that's going to be a good thing. All right. I'll leave it at that, and I'll see y'all another night. Good night.